Death Watch.
Okay, welcome back. Today we have all of our players returning. And so when we had ended our last session, Casimir, Rohan, and Fenrith, along with two hobgoblin monks, were facing off against some bugbears in a cave. Rohan had cast Entangle, but then somebody dispelled it. And Graham, you had found a staircase uh, that was revealed by pulling a lever that leads up. And so we'll start with Fenrith, Rohan, and Casimir. These bugbears, they had come out here where you should see them now, and they had formed up to face off against you. Now, we'll just do a new initiative. So go ahead and roll initiative. All right. So we have, let's see, that person. So in the middle of that pack, you can see this this bugbear. He's a little bigger than the rest. He's got a spiked chain. The other ones have spears, and he seems to have a little bit nicer armor as well. He's clearly in charge. This is the one that you had already encountered who ran off shouting for help, and now he's returned with his compatriots here, intent upon your destruction. And he's shouting orders now in his guttural language, telling the other bugbears to hold firm and wait for the mistress. And that brings us to you, Rohan. It'll be your turn.
All right. Seeing that the one in charge is once again here, I'm going to target him and fire a volley at him. So 3 arrows coming his way.
Okay. All right. So those 3 arrows all strike true.
Okay.
Go ahead and roll for damage.
And let's see, do I have the bonus on for favorite enemy? Yeah, it looks like it. Okay. So yeah, 3 arrows, strike out.
All right. So these 3 arrows, they all hit right next to each other, just in the upper part of his chest. And you can see blood spout out of his mouth. And that brings us to Casimir.
All right. I'm going to ready my wand in my offhand, and I'm going to launch it down that way. A fireball, wand of fireball.
Okay.
I don't know if there's ones I can't target, but you'll have to handle those. Come on, draw it. I'm doing it wrong. There we go. 20. Alrighty. So that would be a reflex save if I can find it. It's not showing it.
Yeah, what would the reflex save be?
I believe it would be, base would be 13, I believe. It's a 3rd level spell, right? And then I don't know what the intelligence bonus would be on it. If it's using mine or whatnot. I don't know how wands work when it comes to that.
Looks like it's set up to be a reflex save of 15. So okay. use that cast button.
All right.
And that should make them roll their saves, which it did. And then go ahead and roll for damage.
Okay. And that's my turn.
All right. So yeah, this fireball shoots out and slams down and engulfs all of them. Some of them look like they came out worse than others. And so after the fire disappears, and you can see, smoke coming off of these bugbears. This one here in the middle, he darts up to here and stabs at you with his spear, Casimir.
All right.
So he hits you for 5 damage. And green, you're not on here, so let's change. Let's see. Okay. And then this one comes up here behind him, and he's got his spear set. And this monk, he steps up over here to attack this bugbear that had attacked you, Casimir. And that spearman takes a jab at him when he sees an opening, but the monk is able to dodge it. So he starts throwing a couple punches and kicks against that bugbear, and he hits him. All right, so the second monk comes up to this other bugbear up near the top there. And that bugbear takes a stab at him with his spear as well as he steps forward, and he's not able to hit him. So that monk throws a kick at that bugbear, and you can see him strike that bugbear a good solid blow to the side of his head. And that'll bring us to you, Fenrith. So you're far back here, but you can hear the battle going up ahead. It'll be your turn.
All right. Are each of these squares 5 still?
Yeah.
So I'll move up to here. And does that reveal any enemies?
Well, you should be able to see them.
Yep. It's slowly moving. Hold on. There they are. I'll give it just a second. It's going to my spell list real quick. All right. I will do a flame strike on those two back there.
Okay.
Did that roll their save?
Yeah. Go ahead and roll for damage.
Ooh, buddy, that was a good one.
Yeah, so this pillar of flame appears and slams down over the top of those two. And when it disappears, the fire burning their clothing a bit. See, that's number 3. Yeah, it didn't kill either of them, but it definitely hurt them quite badly. Or that's not actually true. It did kill that sergeant. So what's left behind of him is just a crispy, smoking ruin, and he falls to the ground dead. Anything else, Fenrith?
No, that'll end it for me.
All right, so this bugbear back here, he steps forward to attack that monk. That's the older one, but he's just too agile and he can't manage to strike him. But this other bugbear comes out from around the corner and steps up here to attack that same monk. And he does hit, so you can see him stab that monk in the thigh. And then you see an elven woman step out over here from around the corner. And you've seen the elven sorceresses. This, I mean, you can't tell if this is one you have already seen, but she's dressed much the same way, like you would expect a sorceress to, or always some sort of spellcaster to dress. But she steps forward, and she's clearly casting a spell of some sort. Right, so she casts this spell, and then, as if from nowhere, suddenly a massive swarm of bats appears. And, they're flapping around wildly like bats do. But it appears in this space here with Casimir, actually a little down. So it's got that monk as well. And so, Casimir, they're flapping all around and they're biting and scratching at you. And they do a damage to you. And you can see they're doing some damage to this younger monk as well. And that brings us to you, Rohan.
Okay, seeing that the bugbear commander is down, I'm going to take a step forward and I am going to delay my action until I see the spellcaster casting again. And then I'm going to use a multi-shot on her.
Okay.
And that'll be my turn.
All right, Casimir, your turn.
Alrighty. I'll 5 foot and then
Do a fortitude save for me first.
all right.
Okay. All right, so you step back out of the space of this swarm.
Then I'll fireball and okay. There.
Okay.
And I don't think wands provoke.
No, they don't.
Okay.
All right, go ahead and roll for damage. So yeah, you launch this fireball out there, and you do a significant amount of damage to some of them. And this one, the one back by the sorceress, it kills that one
Okay.
outright. So that one falls to the ground dead. Anything else?
No.
Okay. So this spearman steps up here, and it's like shying away from the bats and trying to shoo them off with little success, but it is jabbing at you with its spear, Fenrith.
I'll politely ask him not to do that.
So he's able to get past your defenses with his spear and does 8 damage to you.
He was able to get past my social niceties.
Yep. And let's see. Then the next one is this one here, who takes a step back here. And rather than attack with its spear, it's tossing a javelin at that monk, but it sails well over his head and slams into the wall. And that brings us to this monk who steps forward in order to get away from those bats, and he attacks this spearman here in front of him. All right, so this bugbear in front of that younger monk, he takes a couple swings with his morning star, and he hits. As a matter of fact, he gets a critical hit and does a pretty significant amount of damage to that younger monk. And so that younger monk's father strikes out at that same bugbear. It's like using his knees and his elbows, and you can hear bones crunching, and then that bugbear falls to the ground dead. And that brings us to you, Fenrith. Fenrith.
So I'm being threatened by this guy right now, correct? The
Yeah.
bugbear 2?
Yeah, he has reach with that weapon.
All right, I will 5 foot back, and then I will flame strike. Was that 1 and 4?
Okay. All right, go ahead and roll damage. Neither of them succeeded on their saves. All right, so once again, a pillar of flame strikes down out of the ceiling, slams into these, engulfs these bugbears. It kills the one of the spearmen here, and the other one is he's got that look on his face that says he's not really aware of his surroundings anymore. Anything else for your turn?
That will be it for me.
All right, so this bugbear back here, the other one that you hit with your flame strike, I mean, he's got his spear gripped in his hands, but he's just sort of swaying there on his feet and doesn't do anything with his action. Now, Rohan, you can see that this sorceress is about to cast a spell.
Okay, I'll take my shot in an attempt to disrupt her casting.
All right, you have hit her.
Okay, that was with 2 arrows with a single shot using the many shot ability. So 2 arrows striking out at her.
Did you shoot her in the 2?
We'll find out. That second one looks like it might have. Although it looks like the bugbear damage from my favorite enemy is still counting for some reason. So you'll want to take off 8 damage total.
I don't.
It's showing the D8,
Oh, I see.
the D6, and then a +6. It should only be a +2.
Okay.
You just imagined that she was a bugbear sorcerer, so I think it counts.
Okay, and she is associating with bugbear, so
Kind of smells like them.
yeah. But yeah, that should be DC 23 concentration for her to complete the spell.
Is that 20 plus the damage, or just 20 overall?
Just the damage total, which after taking away the 8 should be 23.
Okay. Yeah. So despite getting struck with 2 arrows, she does manage to cast her spell. She got a 34. All right. So this spell here is what happens.
We all die and Graham wins the game.
Right. So suddenly, the ground at your feet takes on this oily black appearance, and these rubbery black tentacles pop out of this sort of film that's covering the ground, and they start waving around wildly. Some of them even come out of the walls and the ceiling, and they start grasping at all of you that are in this area. So everyone in that field has to make a grapple check.
Avenge me, Casimir.
You'll be fine.
All right, so let's start with Rohan. Oh wow, Rohan, you win your grapple.
Amazing.
This thing's not able to get a hold of you. And then Fenrith, what was yours?
It was a 25.
Okay, you win your grapple for now. Okay, Casimir, you have lost your grapple.
I'll avenge you, Casimir.
This bugbear has lost its grapple. And then the monks have both lost their grapples.
I believe those results are the exact opposite of what our stats say they.
All right, so monk 1 is grappled, monk 2 is grappled, Fenrith is not. Rohan is not, but Casimir is. And Bugbear Spearman too is grappled. All right. So yeah, she casts that spell, and even with your 2 arrows sticking in her stomach there, and that brings us to you, Rohan. So let's see. You, even though you're not grappled, you may only move at half speed.
Okay. So do I still have my full actions, or does it try and re-grapple me on my turn or anything like that?
No, it'll try to re-grapple you on its turn.
Okay.
Well, I'm not able to hear you, but your attack hit.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah. Go ahead and roll for damage.
Backpedaling out of the mess of tentacles. I'll fire those with 1 shot, and yeah, once again remove 8 from that, so 15 damage total.
Okay. And Casimir. So now you are in a grapple, so you would do the things you would do when you're being grappled.
Yeah, I believe it's trying to escape a grapple. I'm looking for it right now. I think it's just
I
another grapple
will.
check, ain't it?
I'll call out to you to that I'll help you. I can help you.
All right. So yeah, you can, if you're trying to escape from it, yeah, then it's an opposed, or you can do an escape artist.
Am I in the air currently? Am I in the air currently? Like, is it grappling me up?
No, you're still on the ground.
Could I attempt to meld, or whatever it is, meld into stone?
Yeah, right. Because you can, let's see, if you're grappling, that would be like, I guess that would sort of be like activating a magic item, because it's your ring that lets you do that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can activate a magic item as long as the item doesn't require spell completion activation, which it doesn't. And you don't need to make a grapple check to activate it.
Okay.
So yeah, you could do that.
All right. I don't know if I'd drag the tentacle in with me, but I'll give it a shot.
No, it wouldn't. It would just, I mean, you would just sink down into the stone there and it would lose its grip on you.
Okay.
Well, yeah, so let's see. You and not more than 100 pounds of non-living gear merge with the stone. So while in the stone, you remain in contact, however tenuous, with the face of the stone through which you melded. So you're aware of the passage of time, and you can cast spells on yourself while hiding in there, but nothing that goes on outside can be seen, though you can still hear what happens.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, so you are ungrappled then, and you disappear down into the stone.
To hide my shame at how cheap that was. That's my turn.
All right. Yeah, so this bugbear is trying to escape from this grapple that it's locked in, but it's just not working. So this thing's wrapped all the way around him, and he's just trying to break free. You can see panic on his face now. So then the younger monk also will try to escape, and he does manage to escape from that grapple and step out of its area. And then the older monk as well manages to break, well, yeah, he manages to break free as well and step out of the area. And that brings us to you, Fenrith. You are not grappled, but if you want to move, you can only move half speed.
Okay. So Casimir disappeared.
Mm-hmm. He basically just sunk right down into the ground.
All right.
And you couldn't even believe it.
What are the spell casting rules in this thing?
You can cast a spell. I mean, it hasn't done any damage to you or anything, so you don't.
Okay, I'll cast freedom of movement on myself then.
Okay. And what are you trying to go somewhere?
So freedom of movement will allow me to move normal speed. Give me just a second. I'll bring it up and
Yeah,
reading it.
I would just, you had a little check mark, so I was asking if you were trying to move your token somewhere.
I was checking what the distances were to try and make it out of this thing.
Okay. Yeah, so it'll let you move normally, and it makes you automatically succeed any grapple attempt.
Yeah, and that'll last for 10 minutes a level, so what, 100 minutes?
Yeah, plenty long. So are you going to move out of the area?
Yeah, so after I, well, I guess I wouldn't really need to. Yeah, I will. I'll go out. So what, to there?
Okay.
That puts me out, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, no, here would.
I need an extra, what, 5 feet then? Oh, okay.
No, I think you just had it set wrong on the grid. You're fine there.
Okay. Yeah, so I'll move out to there then,
All right.
and then that'll be it.
All right. So this bugbear now will step back and continue to try to stab at these monks, although he's clearly terrified out of his mind. For some reason, he is not running away. But one of his thrusts strikes true, and so he does some damage to this older monk. And this sorceress shouts something, probably a curse, and she disappears out from view. So Rohan, it'd be your turn.
All right, so seeing that the sorceress is gone, you can see the 2 bugbear spearmen, so I'll target the one that's in the middle of the tentacles and shoot a full volley at him.
Okay.
3 arrows lash out. Did they hit? It doesn't say.
Yeah, they did hit.
Okay. So then damage for 3 arrows against one of my favorite enemies.
Yeah, so he's, struggling valiantly to escape from this tentacle, but then your arrows sink in and put him out of his misery. So
Okay. And then
the end
yeah.
of him.
After that, I'm just kind of mentally preparing myself to try and make the run across the tentacles.
Okay.
So pass it on.
All right, Casimir.
I guess I'll see about coming up out of the stone. Hopefully not getting grabbed this time.
Well, I can say that, obviously you can't see anything. You can still hear the tentacles
Okay.
whooshing around up there because they're moving really wildly and they're thick, so they make that loud whoosh sound. You can
All
still
right.
hear them up there.
Yeah, I guess I'll just hang out then
Okay.
till it sounds safe. That's my turn.
All right. So this monk steps up to this remaining bugbear spearman and attacks him and kills him. So gets a real good strike right in the center of his forehead, and you hear bone crunching, and he falls to the ground. And this other one steps forward, and he's like leaning out around the corner, trying to see what he can see. And that will bring us to you, Fenrith.
I will move through to here.
Okay. Yeah, so these tentacles, they try to grapple you as you pass through, but they're just not able to get a hold of you.
And that sorceress is gone?
Well, yeah, you can't see her.
Okay.
Is there anything else you wanted to do?
No, that'll be it. I'm going to switch over to my PC real quick, though.
Okay. Okay, so Graham, you were walking up this staircase that had appeared when you pulled that lever, sort of like ascended from this aperture here. So you're walking up those steps, and you're doing that because you just knew for a fact when they revealed themselves that that's what you wanted to be doing. And it's hard to say how long you have been walking up those steps, but eventually you find yourself. Let me put you on a map here. All right, can you see that?
Yeah, just my token, though.
Okay. All right. How about now?
Still just a token.
Have you clicked on your token?
Yes, still just the token. Okay, I got something now.
Okay. So you find yourself in this tunnel at the top of the staircase there, and it's really large, really wide, and also tall enough that you can't really see the top of it in here. But also, you see a old, rusted rail track on the ground in front of you that stretches up into the darkness, and that's where you find yourself. And you just know that that's the direction you need to be going. But the you've been moving with sort of an odd fugue state, not really registering the where you're going or what you're doing or the thoughts you're having, sort of like when you drive to work early in the morning and then can't remember how you got there. But now that sort of fades away and you find yourself, once again back uh, aware of your circumstances. So what do you do?
Well, first we have to take care of the necessities of living. So am I hungry and thirsty?
Yeah, you are now. It's been quite a while since you had any food or drink.
Okay, well, I don't have any food on me, but I'll take a swig from the old water skin.
Okay.
And being sure that 24 hours or more have passed, maybe even 4 days, I'll check the rod of cure serious wounds, see if I can work with it again.
Okay.
Is it still floppy?
No, it's as it should be.
Okay, I'm going to try to activate that.
All right, you got a 22. Is that enough?
Yeah, I need a 20 to activate a wand.
All right. Yeah, so go ahead and roll for healing. All right, so 24 points are healed, and that brings you a good distance of the way back to fully healed. It definitely seems to energize you and makes you feel a lot better.
Well, I'll stick with the 1 for now, and then I'll start heading down, following these railroad tracks.
Okay. All right. So go ahead. Yeah. Move yourself as though we were in turn-based movement.
Okay, so I'll move like halfway up to where that looks like a little cart is.
Yeah. Okay. 1 second here. All right. So when you get to here, you can spot a bugbear up ahead. Do you see it?
Yeah, I'll deviate my course and go hide up by the wall on my left.
All right. So roll a move silently then. Okay. Right. So as you're moving along these tracks, and then you spot that bugbear, and so you duck to the side there, up against the wall, and you get a good look at him, and he's actually leaning back against that wall with his arms crossed, and he's clearly snoozing. But from your position, you can see further on down another one, and this one, there's like some rubble on the ground, some piles of large rocks, and he's sitting down on one. He's sort of got his back to you, and he looks to be like he's not paying attention either, although you can't tell if he's sleeping or just sitting there navel gazing. So what would you like to do?
So I think I want to try to move up to that sleeping one.
Okay.
Quietly, of course.
Right. All right. So yeah, go ahead and move yourself, and I'll take care of the rolls, and then do a spot. All right. So when you get to where you're at right now, you did spot even further down yet another one. Although you basically are only seeing like his arm and a leg, some armor, but not a face. So you can't tell what that one's doing, but you did see another one there. So you get to here, and this one is definitely snoring. So he's still standing up. He's just kind of leaning back against the wall, and he's got his arms crossed real tight, and his head's down, chin's jabbed into his chest, and he's definitely snoring. What would you like to do?
1 second. Okay. Well, I guess I'll just try for an unarmed sneak attack. So subdual damage. See if that knocks him out. But I want to, try to be quiet. So what can we do here, Brandon?
All right, so you're thinking about this, and you're like, okay, I gotta quietly find a way to take this guy out, and that's when Bloodtooth starts. It's like technically a whisper, but it sounds like a scream in your ears. But he's quite insistent that he hasn't felt any blood on his blade in too long, and that you need to kill this thing because who knows if you'll be successful or not. And then he could bring his friends, but for certain, you could kill him with Bloodtooth. And then, as far as what we can do, if you want to ignore Bloodtooth, we'll just do well, I guess it depends on you. Like what method you want to use. Do you want to put him in a sleeper hold, or do you want to punch him in the chin really hard, or?
Yeah, well, mechanically, I can deliver my sneak attack with an unarmed attack as long as the conditions are met.
Yeah.
So I guess it could be, like a spy chop, like the Bond chop, put him down, or something like that. Hit a nerve,
Mm-hmm.
but then
All
try
right.
to quickly catch him.
Yeah. Okay. So what we would do is then just do basically a coup de grace then, or a critical, and then we'll do like a strength to see if you can keep him from falling down or whatever. Sound good?
Yeah, okay. Let me get the damage for you.
You should just do a Vulcan neck pinch.
Yeah, that's sort of what I was thinking.
Okay. Yeah, so you're aiming for some pressure point that you know from your studies or your training.
So the unarmed attack's a 1d3. I didn't have it set up. Is that right?
Yeah.
And times 2.
Hang on 1 second. Yeah. So what we'll do is then we'll do just do what's your max damage?
It would be 6, I guess, if it's times 2 for the unarmed part, and then do I do the max sneak attack?
Yeah, just max it all out.
Okay, so the max damage in that case would be 36 subdual damage.
All right. Yeah, so you step up to this guy and you chop him in the neck real hard. And his eyes burst open wide, but then they just sort of fade. You can see the distance in his look, and he starts to slump to the ground. So do a strength check. Okay. So let's see. So you go to catch him to try and stop him from making too much noise as he falls. And you're not it doesn't feel to you like you're very successful. I mean, his armor scrapes against the stone as he's starting to slide down. I mean, definitely you stop it from making as much noise as it would if you just let him go. But to your ears, anyway, it sounds extremely loud. And then you hear and see this one over here that was sitting down on that rock pile. He stands up and he spins to look in your direction. And you can hear him say some name a couple of times with a questioning tone.
Well, here we can try and fail at a bluff. I'll try to make my voice gruff. What is it?
Okay. Yeah, go ahead and roll your bluff.
I'll spend 1 hero point on this.
Okay.
I rolled a 1, by the way. Yeah, for the record.
Oh, nice.
Perfect.
Yeah, you got a 20.
Roll a 20.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you do this bluff, and I don't think you speak their language, do you?
No, they
So
speak
yeah,
Goblin.
yeah. So you're not even using the language, but you get like the gruffness and the tone right, and just the distance between you two and the echo in the cave, whatever noise you make, it suits the purpose. And this other one up there says something else in a sort of wounded tone, and then turns and sits back down on that rock there. And this one at your feet is just laying on the ground almost peacefully. All right, and then let's go back to Rohan.
Okay. First,
So
I'd like
these
to
monks,
congratulate Graham on his absolute perfect use of a hero point.
yeah,
Thank you.
yeah. So you still got these tentacles, and those monks are like looking around that corner, but you can't see any living enemies in front of you.
So I'm also assuming that these tentacles restrict the ability to run even at half speed.
Right. Yeah. The best you can do is move at half your speed.
Okay. Yeah, I'll take a deep breath and make it as far across it as I can, trying to avoid the tentacles.
All right. Well, so do a grapple check. All right. So you get to hear when one of them manages to grab a hold of your leg and
Okay.
hold you fast.
All right. And that's my turn.
All right. Casimir. So you can still hear him up there.
Yeah, I can hear him probably grab Rohan too.
Yeah.
Well, there's nothing I can do about that. It's in the elemental's hands now. Let's see. I was going to see if I could identify what the spell is, and mainly more for the how long it will last. I can identify a spell that's already in place using spellcraft, but I have to be able to see or detect the effects of the spell. So I'm going to leave that up to you if being able to hear them is enough. But if not, that's kind of what I'll spend my turn mulling over.
Yeah, we can do that. Do your because you did see the effects. So go ahead and do your spellcraft.
All right, so 20 plus spell level, 35.
Okay. So yeah, you're able to determine what are you able to determine? Let's see here. Yeah, so you can identify that this is the Black Tentacle spell, which you guys have encountered once before in the form of a trap. So you're just trying to determine how long it would last.
Yeah.
Not long. This is the sort of spell that it's like a 1 round per level sort of spell.
Okay.
So, that would put it in the range of, 3 seconds to 30 seconds ish.
Yeah. All right. So I figure I can probably outwait it and not lose too much time. So I'm going to just hunker down.
Okay.
That's my turn.
All right. So this other monk steps up beside his dad to look down that way. And that brings us to you, Fenrith.
And then I will heal. What is that? Number 2 is the one that's hurt the worst.
Say that all over again. We didn't hear you until the last couple words.
Sorry, I'm gonna move up to the monks, and then I believe I'm gonna heal number 2 if that's the one that was hurt the worst.
It is, yeah. Yeah, that's the one with the most. They're both hurt, but that's the one that's the worst. So go ahead. Okay, so yeah, you go up and you grab a hold of his shoulders. That's the older one, and you cast your healing spell, and his wounds start stitching themselves back together. Anything else?
No, that'll end it after I heal that one.
Okay. Let's see. Right. So when you get there and you heal him, I guess you can't see. So yeah, you get up there and you heal him, and then a fireball explodes at your feet.
That was perfect timing for me then.
Let's see. Be here. Ignore all of that. Got it set up wrong here. All right. So yeah, this fireball explodes, and then obviously it has no effect on you, Fenrith. And somehow it has no effect on these 2 monks either. Like, you saw the flame engulf them, so you don't know how, but when the flame disappears, they're no different. They're no worse off than they were before. They seem to have taken no damage from it at all. And that brings us to you, Graham. So what would you like to do? You've got this bugbear snoozing at your feet that you chopped his neck savagely, and then there's another one on the rocks up ahead who is now sitting down after you used your bluff check on him. What do you do?
Yeah, I need to get a closer look at that one that is further down. So I'll
Okay.
poke my head out. Stay quiet, of course.
All right. So from here, you can just barely make out the features of this one. And he's standing up and shifting his weight from foot to foot. He looks really bored. He's got a morning star, and then occasionally he'll just swing it lazily, but he doesn't seem to be paying attention to what's going on in your direction.
Okay, in the context of a turn, I suppose I will get both the Wand of Magic Missiles and Bloodtooth ready, and that would be it for me.
Okay. Yeah, so you can feel Bloodtooth's excitement as you pull him from the sheath there. Let's see. All right, back to Rohan. So you're grappled now.
Yep. I think the only thing I can really do right now is try and get out of the grapple.
Mm-hmm.
So here we go. Yeah, that's a failure.
All right. So yeah, this thing's just. Oh, right. Sorry, your damage. So this thing, now that it's got a hold of you, is squeezing tightly and does 8 damage to you. And then you try to escape, but you're not able to. And that brings us to Casimir.
Yep.
All right. Can I aid in a grapple with these, or with Rohan against these things if I don't get grappled by one?
No, not from under the stone.
Yeah, I know that.
But I
I'd
mean,
have to pop up.
if you pop up, then it'll immediately start trying to grapple you too.
Yeah, so I just need to not get grappled, is what I
Right.
was saying. Okay, so yeah, I'll pop up and
Okay.
make my grapple check, and if I succeed, I guess I'll attempt to aid Rohan.
Oh, nice one. Yeah, so you pop up out of the ground, and then a exclamation point appears above a couple of these tentacles, and they spin towards you, and you are successful in evading that grapple.
All right, so
Nice roll.
yeah, I guess I'll aid Rohan. So I need a 10 to aid? I don't think I can fail that unless it's a 1, unless 1 counts. Ding. That's my turn.
Yeah, let's see.
It looks like you still have the grappled effects on those guys, Brandon.
Good. Yeah, you can. Yeah, so you aid him. So you'll have a +2, Rohan, on your next turn.
Thank you, Casimir.
Yeah, no problem, man.
All right, so monk. So this younger monk steps back and he whispers to you, Fenrith, that he saw her go invisible and continue on down the hallway or down the tunnel. And then
I'll nod to him.
then it's your turn, Fenrith.
Would I be able to detect an invisible being using detect magic?
No.
Okay.
Well, I mean,
I think Chris is right there, because I probably wouldn't be able to focus on it.
you'd be able to detect like magical auras. I wouldn't allow you to pinpoint it enough to be useful in detecting an invisible enemy, though.
All right, so first I'll move up to here.
All right.
All right, and then give me just a moment. Let's see what the range of this one is. Okay, so starting here, I will use, was that Burning Hands?
Okay.
Just out in front of me 15 feet to try and hit the anything invisible.
Right. Yeah, I got you. So you're just doing flamethrower to see what's there.
Yep.
All right. Anything else?
Do you want me to actually use the cast option, or do you just want me to mark one off if I'm not in that area, since I'm not sure where they are?
No, just don't use the cast option. You just keep that template where you're throwing it, since you basically can do it unlimited times.
Okay. So yeah, that will be the end of my turn here then.
Okay. All right, Graham. What do you do?
Okay, I'll start sneaking up to the next closest one. What's that rubble look like? Is that a pretty tall mound of it?
Yeah, it is. It's like in its center area, about 10 feet tall, like this section of it, and it goes down from there. Okay, so do your move silently then. All right, so yeah, you creep up here, and you're keeping your eye on him. And he's just sitting there. Now he's got his elbows on his knees, and he's just sort of lazily spitting on the floor and, rubbing his boot through it, and, the actions of a bored individual.
Okay, well, I'll pause there because that movement took up my turn.
Okay. All right. Okay, so this one further down, you watch him like reach into a pouch and pull out a little flask and take a drink from it. All right, Fenrith, you are casting this flaming hands out in front of you, trying to, catch anything in there that might be invisible. And let's see. So far, those flames haven't revealed anything or touched anything. But now, while you're doing that, this this sorceress appears up ahead of you there as she's casting a spell at you, and that is, well, you don't know, but you save. You make your save against it, and so you can sort of feel this energy settle on you, but it doesn't hold and it slips away. And then she turns and darts further back down the hallway out of sight. And that's you, Rohan. So also right now, Rohan, when your turn begins, these tentacles disappear. They just sort
Okay.
of poof, disappear.
That's good timing.
So it's your turn.
All right. So I'm going to move up to here and look down the hallway that Fenrith had disappeared down.
Right, so you can see Fenrith right there, and he's got his hands out, and he's spitting flames down in an arc in front of him, but you don't see anybody else past him.
All right. So with the last of my movement, I'll move up to here and kind of take a little bit of cover behind that rocky outcrop.
Okay.
It just looks like I've gone mad.
I'm used to it.
Okay, Casimir, your turn.
All right. I will follow Rohan to there, and yeah, that's my turn. Maybe ready in action if anything that is a bad guy gets close, so I can bip him. That's what I'll do.
Can I free action just say that she ran further down the hall?
Yeah, you can definitely say that.
Then that is what I will say.
Is that you hinting that you want me to go on ahead, John?
No, because I'm probably still blasting the hallway with my flamethrower hands.
Okay.
All right, so these this time these monks are staying behind you guys, bringing up the rear, and then brings us to you, Fenrith.
All right, so first I'm gonna click my heels, activate my haste boots,
Okay.
and then I'll move one movement up 40 feet.
All right. So when you get here, you see that sorceress. You see that she's got a rod in her hand, and she's looking at you with hatred on her face.
Okay, let me take a look at what I got left for spells real quick.
Or not a rod, a staff. Sorry. Looks to be made of some sort of black wood. It's got orange and red lines going down it, and it has some sort of black gem at the top of it. But I think that would be all you can do.
With the speed or the haste, I would be able to move 40 feet in the one action, so I should still have
Yeah.
one more, right?
Well, activating those
Was a free action.
I'm seeing activate a magic item as a standard action.
Because I believe that it was in the description, or
Oh,
was
do
it
they
just
have-
deactivate? Travis, do you have that your descriptions on that at all? I gotta try and find mine. Yeah, was it free action to just deactivate, or was it free action to activate as well?
Yeah, they have their own. Okay. All right, go ahead.
All right, so I'm gonna move up to her, and as part of that move action, I'll draw my sword,
Okay.
and then that's where I would end the turn.
All right. Okay, Graham, back to you.
Okay, I think I need to activate my haste boots as well. And then I will move up on this guy and try to sneak attack him with Bloodtooth.
Okay. So before you make your attack roll, let's see. Let me give him,
Can you add haste to me as well?
well, it's a little more work than I'm really wanting to.
Yeah, I thought I had it, but find it.
Yeah, I'll put it on you there. And then he should be flat-footed. Okay, go ahead. Okay, that's a hit.
That was a lousy
right.
sneak attack roll.
Yeah, but we're not going to play it that way. So you're like sneaking up over these rocks and picking your way carefully, just instinctively know which ones are going to hold your weight and which aren't going to, cause any sort of falling or slipping. And you get up behind this guy, and so he's sitting there and he's leaning forward, and you can see the base of his neck. And so that's where you stab with Bloodtooth. And he like jerks up straight as the blade slides in between, the bones there, and then he just slumps forward back. So he's, basically leaning over his own knees there, and he's dead. And that would fill Bloodtooth up as well with one of the jewels would fill up. So that guy's dead. And then we'll do let's see if this other one hears you.
Did you want a new roll?
Yeah, do a new move silently for that attack. Yeah. So that other one, he's still drinking from his flask, and even though he would have to move his head like 10 degrees, and he would see you. He's just not paying attention.
Yeah, I'm crouched there looking at him, but I'm all out of movement, so I'll have to stay exposed for the rest of this turn.
Oh, right. That reminds me. Another thing that I ruined by not pointing out earlier is that you're doing all this with that vision, where you can see like their outlines, because these guys see in the dark and there isn't any light. So that's what you're going off of here. And so yeah.
Oh, should I have a penalty to like my movement and stuff then?
No, you don't. In fact, it's like this vision mode, I guess is the best word for it now. It seems to be improving as time goes on. So whereas before you got like a very broad idea of where objects were, and you mostly could just see the living creatures. Now you're getting more like of a wireframe layout of your surroundings as well. So it's not giving you any penalties in this circumstance anyway. All right. Let's see. All right. So Fenrith, now you've run up here with your sword to this this elven woman here, and you can see here that there's sort of like steps behind her. They're not fashioned. It's just the layout of the ground in this cavern. But they step down, and then behind that, a pretty large pit, and there's a big cavern back there behind her. You can see some odd things that don't really register because you're in the middle of a fight, but there's some light reflecting off of some crystals up ahead, and you see some green on the ground that sort of looks like moss or grass. And anyway, this big pit behind her. But she steps back and she is going to cast another spell at you. So you can feel it settle on you and then slip away again. And you can see the look of frustration on her face. And then that'll bring us to Rohan.
All right, so still following Fenrith, but keeping an eye on this tunnel to the right. I'm going to move to here.
All right.
So taking a quick glance down and to my right, do I see anything of particular interest that way?
Yeah. So you can see that there are like steps that lead up, and they're not like nobody made them. It's just how the cavern floor is. And then beyond that, a lot of rubble on the floor of the cavern of the tunnel. It's all broken rocks and stuff, and the ceiling that you can see is pitted and pockmarked and shows where those rocks fell from. But you can see more steps further up ahead down that way, and from where you stopped, looking to your left, you can also see that sorceress and Fenrith.
Right.
Do a spot for me.
Spots. 28.
28, you say?
Yep.
Yeah, that's all you see down that way.
Okay. Not seeing any enemies or anything that might attack me. I'll focus on the elven sorceress and do 2 arrows with 1 shot.
Okay.
Oof. I'm gonna use a hero point on that.
Okay.
That's better.
All right, so that's a hit. So these arrows streak past Fenrith and slam into her.
Okay. 2 arrows. And it's still doing the plus for the bugbear damage, so 23 damage total.
Yeah, let me just take that off of there.
And that'll be my turn.
All right. Casimir, your turn. So you've seen Rohan shooting at something. That's what you can see.
Okay. I guess I'll move up, see what I see.
All right.
All right. Then I guess I'll double move
Okay.
to there.
All right. So yeah, from there you get a good view into that cavern beyond and that very large open pit up ahead.
All right. That's my turn.
Okay. All right. So these monks move up beside you, Rohan, and they're looking down that right cavern there. And Fenrith, that brings us to you.
All right, so I'll 5 foot up, and then I'll full attack her.
Okay. All right. So one hit. Okay. Yeah. So you slice into her for 14 damage. And it's a pretty brutal slice, right? Like gets her across the throat and just an obscene amount of blood starts coming out. But then you just see this like black light emanate from somewhere underneath her robes and spread out. And it's really quick, like blink of an eye sort of quick. And after that, like her wounds are just gone. She just looks as good as new.
I'm not supposed to heal her.
Well, I didn't know I was healing anything.
Did Graham
Okay.
switch your sword with the cure rod?
Probably.
All right, Graham. So you're going to sneak up on this next one?
Yeah, I charted out my movement there.
All right. So that one is sipping from his flask, and go ahead and do your move silently and sneak. Oops. All right. So you got a 27 on your move silently and a 25 on your hide. So he didn't hear you, and he wouldn't be able to see you. So he's just sipping on his flask, shifting his weight back and forth. He'll let out a really exaggerated, heavy sigh every couple seconds because he's so bored. But you manage to get up right behind him, and you can sort of feel this excitement from Bloodtooth as you come up behind that bugbear.
Okay, I'll stab him.
Okay. All right. So let me make sure I forgot to put. That'd be a hit. So he's flat-footed there. So go ahead and do damage, and then we're gonna play this one the same way. So, like your objective is to take this guy out, and you sneak up behind him. So what do?
Yeah, since I was coming up kind of from his side, I'll just be going for a quick, jab in to his throat while he's lifting that flask again to take a drink.
Okay.
So just the quiet patter of feet and then the dagger right in the throat.
Yeah. So he goes to take a drink, and then you stab him in the throat, and you can see him blink in surprise, and he drops his flask and clasps his hands over his throat, and then he just sort of stumbles away. He's saying something over and over, like, no, 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 no. And then he just falls to the ground dead right over here.
Okay, that's it for me. I'll drop back down to a crouch and look further down along the tracks.
Okay. It seems to reach a junction up ahead where it goes left or right. You can see the edge of like an old rusted mine cart there. And then back to you guys, right? So fully healed, this sorceress, she disappears, and then I'll let you each do a listen, Casimir and Fenrith. So Fenrith, you can hear her footsteps as she moves away.
Would I be able to attempt a attack of opportunity?
No.
Okay. Can I tell the direction that she's moving even?
Yeah, into the cavern.
Okay. I'll
And then you do hear another odd sound. It's like insect wings, sort of, coming from that direction. But you don't see anything. Rohan, your turn.
All right, so completely lost sight of the elven sorceress.
Yeah.
I'm going to back my way up to here, so I can still keep an eye down on the path where the monks are kind of guarding,
Okay.
while getting a little bit closer up here. And I will ready an attack action, or if any enemy appears within my line of sight.
All right.
And that will be my turn.
Okay. And then you start to hear the unmistakable sound, the jingling and stomping of boot steps coming from that direction. As a matter of fact, Fenrith and Casimir can hear it too. You can all hear it coming from this tunnel down here where the monks are.
Okay.
And that brings us to you, Casimir.
All right. I'll
Can I make it known that to Casimir that there's something sounds like insect wings up ahead, and she ran off into the cavern.
all right. Well, we got a bunch of stuff coming after us right now, so I think it's probably easier to hold the tunnel, and I'll move back. Like I can hear the boot steps you're saying.
Yep, you all
And
can.
it's a lot of them, or
More than one,
all right.
but beyond that, it's hard to tell.
I'll move here instead. Let's go about there, and I'll just ready an action. And the first bad guy I see that is within a safe distance, I'm gonna lob a fireball at them. One,
Okay.
and that's my turn.
All right. Yeah. So you move here with your wand out, and you can see these monks. They're doing their martial arts moves, preparing themselves for whatever it is that they see.
Like one of those bad kung fu movies where they're just like kicking and spinning in midair for no apparent reason.
If by bad you mean awesome kung fu movies, then yes.
You mean historically accurate kung fu movies, Justin?
All right. So Rohan, you had a ready to attack?
Yep.
So this guy comes tearing out of the tunnel with a long sword raised above his head to attack the monk, which would trigger your ready to attack.
All right, so a little bit past me, and here goes the fireball.
Well, hang on your fireball.
Okay.
Right.
Um,
So my mini shot going off.
yeah, we'll have Rohan do his shot. That's a hit.
Okay, so 2 arrows.
Okay.
That's my action.
All right. And then Casimir, there's actually two of them. Another one shows up dressed much the same, but go ahead with your fireball.
Okay.
But there'll be two there you need to target.
Yeah.
All right. So you throw out this fireball. Go ahead and roll damage.
Oh, that one sucks.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, it strikes and there's a loud explosion and the flame, fills up that whole tunnel there and washes over these guys. And when the flame disappears, you can see, burns and smoke rising off of them. But this guy will attack that monk and he hits him. And it's another one like you've experienced before where when he strikes with that sword, it lets off a loud boom, and he slices into that monk pretty good. And that guy's looking pretty injured right now. And then the second one, he does the same to this other monk, or at least he tries. He takes a swing at him, but he misses the older monk. And then you see two more come running up, and they don't get quite as close. Like they stop about here, and they've got crossbows, and they start taking shots with them. Yeah, so this one sends a crossbow bolt towards that older monk, but he misses, and it shatters up against the stone wall behind him. And then the other one also takes a shot, this one at the younger monk, but his attack misses as well. And now bring us to Fenrith. Now, Fenrith, you can still hear that. It sounds a lot like maybe a hummingbird or a large insect, some wings flapping really quickly. And right now, to you, it sounds like it's out somewhere over that chasm in there.
So from where I'm at, does it look like this chasm, or where that chasm is? Does it look like look? I guess, can I see the ceiling of this room actually?
No, inside that chamber, that cavern, no, you can't. So the ceiling above you is about 15 feet up, and then you go down these steps, and you can't tell how high the ceiling is in there.
Okay, so it could be coming from either below or above at this point.
Yeah, and then add in the echo, and it's just too hard to pinpoint, but in the general direction of that chasm.
Okay, and I can hear that the fighting's been engaged behind as well.
Oh yeah.
All right. Well, I will call out to Casimir and ask him if I'm needed back there.
Guess I'll say that the older monk seems to be pretty wounded. I think I can see that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Actually, it's the younger monk
Oh. Okay.
is the one that's wounded, but yeah.
All right. So I want to start moving that way. I haven't quite moved the full 40 because I might move 5 over when I get up so closer to C.
Okay.
Once it moves me over there, I'll see about healing one of whoever's hurt.
Second, let's see. All right, so yeah, you move back over here, and then from there you can see all these elves. These are elven warriors, and you can tell that it's the younger monk, monk 1, who's taken the most damage.
So I'll finish that movement, stepping up to him, and then I'll heal him.
Okay. All right. So you cast Cure Critical Wounds, and you give him 35 points of healing, and
That'll be it.
that heals him completely. So he's with renewed vigor defending himself against these elves in front of him. And that brings us to you, Graham.
Okay, so I've had a thought, but I wanted to confirm something first. That when I killed this latest one I killed, he said no, no, no in common, or is no the same in goblin and common?
It's not. It's just like you just inferred based on the way he said it and its repetition. That's just the idea you got, that he was probably saying something like that.
Well, it still seems worth a shot to me, so I want to backtrack to the first one I killed and try to use a spell on him.
Okay.
But I'm staying quiet and what have you, so the movement takes my turn.
He was over the first one you killed, you said?
Yeah, not the guy I knocked unconscious, but the first one I stabbed.
Okay. So we'll say he's laying there on the ground. So right now there's like a massive pool of blood underneath him, already getting sticky.
Oh, I'd like to deactivate my haste boots if I could as well.
Okay. Take that effect off of you then. All right. So that's the end of your turn. All right. So then let's see. Casimir, you see this because there's no facing in D&D. The elven sorceress becomes visible again, and she's hovering above that chasm, and you can see that her boots have wings on them, and they're flapping madly to keep her afloat. Anyway, she's looking at you and casting a spell, and you can feel feel it settle over you, whatever this spell is that she's casting, and then it slips off of you, and you know enough to know that that means that it didn't have the effect. It didn't take effect on you.
All right. I believe I can attempt to automatically spellcraft that.
Okay, go ahead and take a try.
Okay.
But if you fail, there will be consequences.
All right. See if I can find where it was real quick. I think it's like 20 plus spell level.
15 plus spell level.
Okay.
Let's see. Identify a spell being cast. You must see or hear the verbal or somatic components.
This is the one where if I make a resistance, it's on the same thing. It's a bit further down on the list.
Yeah, I got you. 25 plus spell level.
Okay.
But you get that you would still have succeeded in that. So that is, she was casting Resilient Sphere on you.
Okay.
Which, from your reading, that would just encapsulate you in a sphere and make you unable to, get out of it or do anything.
Doesn't sound too bad.
Right. I mean, it does protect you, but it also means you can't really affect the outside world there much. So that's what she was trying to cast on you, but she was not successful. And Rohan, that brings us to you.
All right. So once again, seeing the elven sorceress and seeing her casting, I'm going to turn my attention back on her and fire a full volley of arrows.
All right, don't fire just yet. Let me make sure I got her set up right. Where are you? Okay, now go ahead.
Okay. So yeah, all 3 arrows from a multi-shot attacking.
All right, so you got a miss, a hit, a critical threat, but not confirmed. So 2 hits, 2
Okay.
regular hits. Go ahead and roll for damage.
First one and the second one. Wow, that is horrible damage.
Yeah, so as these arrows streak towards her, you can see that they come in contact with some sort of translucent thing, and that's what, like, the one that missed just sort of deflected off of that, and even the one that you knew was aiming right for the heart, it was knocked aside just enough to just be a regular hit. So she's got some sort of magic out there protecting her.
Okay. Yeah, that'll be my turn. I'll just be trying to keep an eye on her.
Okay, Casimir, that brings us to you.
All right. I will target the sorceress and attempt to cast blindness, deafness on her.
Okay.
And I will be going for the effect of blinding her.
All right.
Come on. Ah. Haha.
Okay. Yeah. It does it. So she automatically failed.
So she's blinded.
Yeah.
Uh,
She's
it's a permanent duration. Fort negate, spell resistance, yes. So here we go. That's my turn. I guess I'll also say that the sorceress is back.
okay. All right. So the monk, this younger monk, now reinvigorated from Fenrith's healing, does battle with this elf in front of him. And so he launches a flurry of blows, punches and kicks and knees, almost too fast to keep an eye on. All of them strike true. And yeah, so all of his attacks slip past this elf's defenses. And you can hear the crunch of bones and even the solid thunk of, a fist slamming into a helmet and denting it, that sort of thing. And he just outright kills that one that's right in front of him. And his father launches an attack on the one in front of him, the same style, just a flurry of blows, too fast to see. And all of his also break through the defenses. And it doesn't kill that one, but it does an extreme amount of damage to him. And that one, despite all the damage he's taken, he continues to attack this older monk with his long sword. So he does two strikes with his long sword, and one of them misses, but the other hits. And he does some damage to that older monk there. And these two with the crossbows, they both take aim at that younger one and fire at him. So that first crossbowman manages to get one of his bolts to hit that younger monk. And then the second crossbowman, he fires a couple of bolts as well, but both of them miss. So Fenrith, they go sailing past you to land harmlessly back somewhere behind you. And that brings us to you, Fenrith.
All right, so I will move to there.
Okay.
And then I will use my circlet of blasting to cast searing light on this sorceress.
All right. Go for it. So that's a hit. So go ahead and roll for damage. Yeah, so this light blasts out of this circlet and washes over her, and she lets out a blood-curdling scream as her clothes start to smoke and some of her skin melts. Anything else?
Nope, that will be the end of mine.
Okay. Graham, that brings us back to you. So you've come back to this bugbear that you killed, and it's lying there now. It's there's like a massive pool of blood underneath it that's already starting to get sticky. What would you like to do?
Well, unfortunately, without Fenrith around, I don't know if he's really dead. So, I want to, I guess, ascertain that. You think like a heal check, maybe?
Well, yeah. Go ahead. Yeah. Yeah. So with that heal check, that's enough to know that any being that loses this much blood in proportion to its size is not going to live. And he's not breathing either. So you're positive he's dead.
Okay, so I recently acquired the scroll Speak with Dead, and I want to attempt to use that now. Normally, for a spell at that level, I'd need a use magic device check result of 25 or higher, but since it's a cleric spell, I have to fake being wiser than I am, so I'll need a 28 or higher because my wisdom for emulate in an ability score is my check result minus 15, and I need a 13 to cast that one.
Okay. So you're shooting for a 28?
Right. Okay. Think like Fenrith. What would Fenrith do or say? All right, here comes my use magic device roll.
Okay. Oh, man.
I'll try 1 hero point. We'll see what happens.
Okay. Oh, there you go. Natural 20. All right. 34. That's enough, right?
Yes.
2 super successful hero point uses. Congratulations.
They're really paying off for you.
Oh,
Speak with dead is, well.
Coralon Larathian compels you to speak, I say in Fenrith's voice.
That's exactly what I would have said.
Now, if he's an opposing alignment, he is entitled to a will save. I have him targeted. If I cast the spell, will it do it automatically?
It should.
Okay, let me just figure out what my new wisdom is. I have a 19 wisdom. What's that, a +4?
Yeah. Okay. It failed its save.
Okay, so here's how it works, or my reading of it is, first, it'll just be a waste of time if he doesn't speak common. And according to the caster level of the scroll, I think I have 2 questions I can answer or ask it.
Yeah, 2 per caster level, right?
Or I think it's 1 per 2 caster levels, right?
Oh, yeah, you're right. 1 per 2 caster levels. Okay.
I'm assuming the lowest caster level on the scroll, the minimum requirement.
Yeah, that's, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Are you going to ask him who is your daddy and what does he do?
Hey, Mr. Bugbear. Sorry I killed you. I wouldn't have done it if you were sleeping. It's not right to kill people who are sleeping. Anyhow, how do I get out of this place? Is my first question.
All right. So you ask, how do I get out of this place? And it answers not in common, but in Elven.
Well, 1 sec. Oh, he's speaking Elven. Okay, go for it.
Yeah. It's like a real bad Elven, but ironically, that's what makes it so you can understand it. And he says, well, he points further down the tunnel, and he moans that way.
The direction I was going.
Yeah.
Well, that's not very helpful. I think I kind of knew that. For my second question, how many of there are you down here?
All right, and then for that he says more than a dozen.
Elements.
Not anymore.
He says a dozen out here, many more in there. But when he says in there, he's still just pointing the same direction down that tunnel.
Well, thanks, Mr. Bugbear. I hope you have a good afterlife. Sorry again I killed you. You just
It's
wait here
okay.
till the spell ends.
My life was pretty miserable anyways.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I think...
You did me a favor.
Oh, well, that's good. Do you think I did your buddy a favor too when I killed him?
No, that was doing me a favor still.
Oh, was he not a good guy?
Right, so at this point then, I guess, once the amount of questions are asked, then it basically just slumps down and is quiet once again.
Right, and I think that will exhaust what I can do in this turn.
Okay. All right.
If she's undead, I neglected to see that the spell would have fizzled.
Right.
Okay.
But she isn't.
Okay.
So, but, well, I mean, I guess you don't know that. by just looking at her. But I will say every indication is that the spell was successful because she's screaming like Daryl Hannah was in Kill Bill Volume 2. And she's like spinning around and she's got her arms waving around with that staff, like, trying to determine where she is and things like that. So it seems to you like it definitely worked.
Okay.
So, Rohan, that brings us to you now.
All right. So she's still visible up there, right? She hasn't moved or anything like that. She's staying in the same spot screaming.
No, let's see. She would have went. No, she rose higher, and so now from your angle, you can see. Uh, you can see her shins and her boots now.
Just her shins and her boots?
Yeah, that's as much of her as you can see.
Okay. So with a 5-foot step forward, can I see enough to actually target some core part of her body, or do I have to move farther up?
Yeah, you would have to move further up. You'd have to be about where Fenrith is.
Okay. Then I'll move up 30 feet and once again shoot 2 arrows with 1 shot. So there it is.
All right, with a 30, you hit.
Okay. 2 arrows going at her midsection.
Yeah, so both of them get past her defenses. You can hear the sound of crunching metal as they pierce whatever armor she has beneath her robes, and then they're sticking in her belly, and she lets out like a scream from the pain of that. And that brings us to you, Casimir.
All right. I'm gonna move a bit forward towards the monks, see what they got going on down here,
Okay.
and I will lob a fireball down into that corner.
All right.
And that's my turn.
Yeah, so they both failed their saves, or all three. Wait, all three of them failed their saves, and so they'll take the max damage there. So this one here in front of the older monk is dead. So
Okay.
he's nothing but a smoking ruin there, and the smell of pork fills the air.
I think elves should smell like burning leaves.
Yeah, I thought about it, but these are mean ones. So
Okay.
All right, the monks close with the crossbowman then. This younger one does like a jump kick, but he misses. And then the older one does a more controlled attack that manages to get past this elf's defenses and deals some damage. So he takes a good fist to the chin there. And at this point, they drop their crossbows and they pull out those kukris that these ones were carrying. And so the one that attacked the older monk's defenses were just too good to get through. But this other one attacks the younger monk, and his attacks can't get through either. So these monks are just proving the better combatants here in this situation. Fenrith, that brings us to you. So you can see most of this woman. She's flailing madly, and as a result, these magical boots, they're moving her all over the place. So she's like rising at the moment, but it's your turn.
All right, I'm going to cast a spiritual weapon and have it manifest right next to her then.
Okay, let's, yeah, go ahead. Let me get a token out there to represent that. All right, so I'll go ahead and do the attack for it against her. All right. So it missed with its first attack, but its second was a critical hit. So go ahead and roll damage. All right. So this luminous sword appears next to her and slices at her to great effect. And now blood is freely flowing down into that chasm there. You're going to move now.
Yeah, and then I'll move up to there.
All right. So
to finish
this.
my turn.
Hang on a second now. This is a 10-foot step down, so it's not just a walking sort of thing.
Okay.
So right here would be 40.
Okay, then I'll move to right there and then end it.
Okay, Graham.
Okay, this will be a short turn for me. I map my movement out, moving silently. That takes up the whole round.
This is where you wanted to go, right where you are?
Yes.
I think you get more movement than that.
Well, I'm moving half speed, so I don't have a penalty on my move silent roll. And currently, without my haste going, my movement speed is 20 feet.
Okay. So
Right.
what was your move silently?
Let me give it to you here 1 sec.
Okay. So also do a listen. All right. So when you sneak up to here and you're moving slowly and quietly, you can hear the unmistakable sound of snoring up ahead, and then someone breaks wind loudly. It has like a echo effect to it as well.
Will save to stop myself from laughing.
Yeah, that's actually a good point. Go ahead. Okay, you successfully stifle your laughter.
Yeah, I just.
Good with. Great job keeping it together, man. Because
Yeah.
I sure as heck didn't overhear.
Yeah, I just clap one of my hands over my mouth, and I'm like straining, you know. Yeah, but that's it for me.
Okay. Okay, so then now this woman dies. And so with that, those wings stop flapping and she falls down the chasm. Who knows how far?
Graham might see her pass by.
So she drops out of sight. And Rohan, that brings us to you.
All right. Do I see any other threats up here?
No, you don't see anything else in there that looks like a threat at the moment.
Okay. As a free action, I'll call out to Casimir. The sorceress is down. Are there still enemies that direction?
Yep.
Okay, and with his comment, I'll move down to there, right behind him.
Okay.
Let's see if I can see someone. Yep. All right, so I will target Savage Elf Warrior 3 and do a net shot, 2 arrows with 1 shot.
Okay.
And there it is. Oh, I'm gonna let that one just stand.
Okay. Yeah. So that's a natural one there.
It was all that running you did to get there, man. So you were off balance when you shot.
All right. Anything else for your turn, Rohan?
No, after that embarrassing performance, I'm done.
Okay, Casimir, that brings us to you.
All right. Same old thing. We're gonna cast a fireball, and that's my turn.
Well, you didn't target both of them.
No, I'm figuring I probably can't without hitting the elf. I can get
Gotcha.
that one.
Okay. Right. So that fireball explodes and strikes him, and then it's the monks. So this younger one lets out another flurry of blows. A couple of them make contact, a couple of his attacks, and he does a lot of damage to the one that he's fighting. And then the older monk is going to do the exact same thing to the one he's fighting. And a couple of his get through as well. And that'll bring us to them. So they're striking out with these kukris that they have, but they're just not getting past the monk's defenses. And that'll bring us to you, Fenrith.
All right, I'll call back out down that hallway there. Ask Casimir if they need me back there.
How are the monks looking?
They the older one, I mean, he's got a couple of wounds, but neither of them look very bad at all.
All right. Yeah, we're just doing cleanup. You can see if you can find a place to fit if you want.
All right, I'll concentrate on this magic weapon then and move it.
Okay. Where to? All
so
right.
It moves 60 feet, so I'll move it back down that way.
Okay. Anything else?
Nope, that'll end it. I'll just kind of keep an eye out in the area that I'm in, I guess.
All right. So that takes us back to you, Graham.
Okay, so I'm feeling the pressure at my slow movement, and in frustration, I'll kind of take my backpack off and see if I can situate that big book any better. And it will occur to me that with my hero ring, I can create water at will, and I don't need my water skin anymore. So I'll take that out, carefully place it on the ground along with my whetstone, and that should free up the exact amount of weight I need to bring me down to a light load.
Okay.
But hopefully, because I'm the hero of the sea, that's not seawater I create.
That's a good point. Maybe you should test that next time you need to create some water.
Problem for another day. But yeah, that should shed 5 pounds, and then I'll move 30 feet up.
Okay.
And that will end my turn.
All right. So you creep 30 feet further along. The snoring is louder now. And you can tell that it's coming from up ahead and to the left. And let's see, that'll bring us to Rohan. So Rohan,
So
there's just these two left down here fighting the monks as far as you can see.
yeah, and it looks like the Savage Elf Warrior 3 has taken less damage. So he's the healthier of the two. It's hard
Yeah.
to really see her little colored dots, but
Although at this point they're both getting to the point where any difference is no difference at all. They both look really bad.
okay. Then I will fire. Yeah, I'll fire a full volley at that one. The one I fired at before, Savage Elf Warrior 3.
Okay. All right. So you got all of them hit.
Okay.
All of your attacks hit. Yeah, and these like basically hit right next to each other and shave the top of his head off, and he slumps to the ground dead.
Satisfied with shaving the top of its head off in a trick shot, I'll pass it on to Casimir.
All right, Casimir.
Alrighty, looks like we got that one last one. Alright, fireball. There we go. That's my turn.
Yeah, so that does that too. So it's just a crispy, smoking ruin left behind when the fire dissipates, and that leaves nothing but silence now. So all the enemies you can see are dead, and you aren't hearing or seeing any enemies further ahead or behind. So these monks, they're looking intently down that direction, and they start creeping that way, moving as silently as they can.
Alright, I'll give them a fairly good run, like let them get to the edge of my shadowy, and then I'll start following them.
Okay. Right. So they move up to here, and then Casimir, you're going to follow them?
Yeah.
I'll follow along as well.
All right. So you get to here, and you can see they've stopped at these steps here. And you're going to come this way, Fenrith? Or are you going to stay in that big cavern?
Yeah, if I'm seeing them move that way, I'll take up that rear guard action.
All right. So yeah, they get up to these steps, and they've got their heads close together, and the young one's saying something, and the father is doing some sort of sign language that you can't see because they're facing away from you. But the young one comes back, Casimir, to you and says that that we think some of our people are being held up ahead.
Well, then let us free them.
Okay. All right, Graham, let's go to you now, and we'll stay with you for a bit. So what do you want to do?
Okay, so I'll creep up to that corner on the left-hand side and peek around, get a look at my snoring and farting victim.
All right. So you move ahead. You get to this corner here, and you can see two mine carts, old and rusted. And in the second one here, you can see a couple of legs like coming up over the edges, and like one arm hanging over. The rest of the body is concealed inside the minecart, but that's where the snoring is coming from. And as you look down towards the right, you see the passageway continues for a bit and then opens up into a room. And from where you are, you can just make out another bugbear, two more bugbears down that way. But they're up on this ledge that's like 20 feet high, and they've got their legs swinging over the side of it, and they're talking quietly to each other.
Okay, then. So my plan is to sneak. Well, I'll look at the guy sleeping in the cart for a little while, and then I'll shake my finger ruefully at him. And, yeah, I guess it's your lucky day. And I'll keep moving down towards the other two.
Okay.
until about there.
All right. So do a move silently there. Okay. So you got a 30. Let me make some rolls here. All right. So neither of them appear to have taken notice of you. And they're just softly talking with each other. Further on down the tracks, you can see yet another one. And he's standing with his back to you guys, looking down as the tunnel continues on. But there is no cover in this room. And so it looks to you like it would be quite difficult to sneak across without being spotted.
Right. Sorry, guys. 1 second here. James come and attacked me.
Do we want to take a quick break then?
We're almost done. Just a couple more minutes.
He's got to fend off that vicious James, man. I've seen James wipe out a whole platoon before.
Yeah, he'd be the kid to do it. I think we need to get him a pair of nunchucks for like his birthday without telling mom and dad, just to see what happens.
Can we at least warn Chris, because he's probably going to be the first victim?
Oh, yeah.
Maybe Chris a lock for his door at the same time.
No, you can nunchuck through doors like that. They're not solid core.
Yeah, especially these doors.
Get Chris one of those attack dog suits.
He still might be able to kill me through that.
Yeah, if he keeps growing like he is, then I could see it.
No, right now my only hope is the younger one is Dean, making sure that he gets raised up to combat the James.
Since James really likes Darth Vader, you gotta train him up, Dean up like Obi-Wan, so they can have an epic battle later in life.
But it's gonna be kind of awkward if James it says that he's Dean's father.
Well, no, not between Obi-Wan and Vader. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
It's about as close as you can get to the brothers fighting.
Anakin, you were like a brother to me.
All those times you healed me like an NPC.
I can see it though. This is Dean. James, you were the firstborn, the chosen one.
We'll follow the full story arc where Dean beats James the first time and then succumbs the second time.
What, 20 years later? Probably.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go grab some water real quick. Be right back.
All right. Oh man, it was so satisfying to hit that NPC with blind.
Yeah, it's a good
Nice.
spell.
Yeah, it is.
It's a little bit OP.
For its level, yeah.
I was kind of surprised she failed the save.
It's meant for casters.
I think she didn't just fail. I think she automatically failed. I think she got a 1 on it.
All those fireballs Chris was lobbing down in this hallway, but we still have some radiant heat going on.
Yeah, if I had more imagination, I would do something with the effects of that. Although the way I seem to remember it being described is that it's so quick that it doesn't have a chance to, like, you can burn, it'll burn like clothes and stuff, but I don't know about melting stone or anything.
Yeah, not enough sustained heat.
Well, he's still a bit crabby. Can you guys hear him in the background there?
Yeah, that's all right. This is actually as good a place to stop as any. We were going to be stopping soon anyway, but it's just as fine to stop right here.
Okay. Sorry about that.
No big deal.
Yeah.
But this, you guys would level up now.
Oh, okay.
So
Nice.
you put yourselves to 55,000 experience and then level up. And I'll leave this on for a bit if anybody wants to do it right now.
Cool. Thanks, man.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for game mastering.
Yeah, you bet.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Brandon.
Thanks, Brandon.
Thanks, guys.
This has been a Death Watch production. Thank you for listening.